Hi and welcome back to Craig's World, my road to madness. Today one of my friends, he has this trailer and he's just asked me just to do a little bit of work on it, which if I show you, it will be all of this section here, you can see, all gone, all around here. So today it's going to be where I fix, and as you can see I'm just starting stripping the boards off it. So that's the next bit of wood to come out. I know I've already started it, but I did it before I got the camera. So my trusty little axe to knock off all the old metal. So I'll do a time lapse now and we'll see how far we get. See you in a second. Right, okay. So we have this corner, if you can see, which has got a plate underneath, and this member which is here. That corner's got to be fixed, but the entire under section of that and over in that corner, the other bit, that has to be done. Then you've got a little rail there, which that's a very easy thing to do. That's not particularly hard. The little, as you can see, just the plate and the crack on the joist. Same over in that corner where you can just see it there. That needs to be exactly the same, but as you can see there, where there is metal, that's why I have a hammer. You beat it to death. The vibration will loosen anything. And the main part is, let me just get round. Is this. So this is what holds the backer on, and the gentleman, my mate, he wants to have a door on the back of this which he can lift up and down, so we've got to weld other things onto the back. But this is just, that goes all the way through, which I'm going to just cut all of that completely, that bottom bit section completely out, and we'll fabricate it up. We can actually get the box section, which is not a problem. And then from the other side, as you can see, starting from here all the way along, it will be far easier for me just to cut there, along there, and do the same there, and then take that off and completely we probably could reuse this, probably reuse the L shape, but in all fairness, you can get metal that cheap, it'd just be easy to replace it. So that is what we are going to get on to today. So I'm going to do a little bit of grinding, so I'll do the same. I'll put a little time lapse on so we can see where we're at. Right, with nuts like these, when they've been on that long, the easiest way to do it is heat the nut up. You don't have to heat it everywhere, just heat the nut very slightly. Well, that's slightly until you see it change colour. And what's happening, you want it to expand over the thread, and then hopefully it will come off. can get better torches. Like I said, this one is just from B&Q, and you just use to what, as I say, use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy expensive tools or something like this. B&Q, 20 quid. And I've always got it in, and I've always done it. This is used perfect for everything I do. There we go. So this one is a 26. And be very careful. That is hot. I can feel the heat already. There you go. A little bit of pressure. Because even when you take the nut off, be very careful, because it's still going to be red hot. Just put it out the way somewhere, let it cool down. Now, I know what a lot of you might say is you never undo all the nuts when it's on the floor with the weight. I've got the blocks already on it. I'm going to lift her up now and we'll take it straight off. There we go, lift it up. I'm going to try and do it to keep the nut in the socket as much as I can, so I don't have to touch it, just like that. And there you go, just let it cool down. And this particular little trailer, as I mentioned, is a mate of mine. It is just like a midden trailer, just to take for horses that he has, and it's just all to take them in here. That's why it's rotten so much. But as I explained to Dave, there's no point in spending an awful lot of money buying a new trailer when you're talking thousands, when the trailer he's got here can be fixed for pennies, literally pennies. And yes, it's not the best trailer in the world, but it does the job. And as I always say, and I say it to a lot of people, you use what you have. I don't like spending money, really don't like it. Have to, but I don't like spending it. Move that a little bit closer. I would rather have the money in my account than somebody else's. And as we didn't tighten these up with as we didn't heat these up, they just pop straight off. There's no, you can get them no problem. And with this final, these wheels off, when it gets jacked up, we can actually see more. This guard that's on the top of this has got to come off as well, and we'll go around then to see what metal we've got in the workshop, what I need to go and get. As I said, where I am from, there's a fabulous place called JM Steel in Bershka, and they are phenomenal for steel, and they do have cut-off bins and offcuts. I just go there, and I know I'm not sponsored by them. That's the only place I go to because they're very reasonable. And we'll do the same once we work everything up. We're not going to workshop. I'll show you the bills eventually, what it will take just to fix this, and it's just time. That's basically all it is. So, as you can see, if we go back up a little bit, you can see now the trailer, both wheels are off, and this is the guard which we will have to take off. For one of the reasons being is there's a bar there, this bar here, that bar there, that's come off. So that's another one that we will have to weld on. That is just marking where it would go to. Literally, well, you can see it there. Just mark, clean that up, clean the end of that up, and we can weld that back together. And then we can weld all the other patches. So we've got, as you can see, now it's all cleaned. All that has to be replaced. I went over the front. These where the brake lights go to, because it's a midden trailer. These can be taken off, and we might be able to use the steel and reuse the steel for as this for somewhere for patching these. So even though we can take these off, you don't bin them, keep them. And yes, that car is one of the cars that will be featured very soon on the channel. There's a lot of work has been done, and a lot of work needs to be done on it. And I might even raffle that off to the people on my channel. So now I know what we need to do. I'll just pause it for a minute. I'll cut these off because you really don't want to see me cutting them off, and we'll go from there. Right, okay. This is a classic example of how I do not throw nothing away. So I've just gone to my little bits and bobs bucket. There's still more steel in there. Now, these was just exactly the same bit, which can go in there. Yes, it might be a little bit smaller, but do I really care? No, because it's a piece of scrap steel. I don't have to go out and buy it. And I know from JML Steel, when I got these three, I had got a load more, and there was only just a few quid. And these are the remains of what we did for Piglet's steps. So I know something like that people chuck away, but it's raw materials. There is no. And then same with these. These were off gates which I bought and fabricated them to fit where they needed to go. Now, as you can see, that little bracket there is rusted. Yes, we could fix it, but I actually want to make this a lot more structurally sound for him. So what we're going to do is weld these, which these were just off a gate. Like I said, what I bought, these are just the little parts, so it's not going to be holding much in. We will just weld them along there, put one here, over there, and over here. Then yes, if you want, we could fix the welds there, we could reinforce it, but as you can see, it's already at the front, it's at the sides. That one is a little bit wobbly. That's because we've took the structure out at the back, but there's nothing against us putting that there. It will make no difference. If anything, it will make it structurally more. So we've got the materials that we need. I'll crack on with it. So I'll just clean it all up and we'll go from there. When you're using a grinder, health safety first, as I mentioned with me and my eye. Whenever I touch that grinder, you use that. We're just preparing, let's get that out then. So give that a key with the grinder, just around there, the back and underneath, and I'll show you what we do. This is going to be interesting, one-handed. So I'll explain it. That is the key. That's all you've got to do to it. Now, as I mentioned with this scrap bit of steel that we did on Piglet, that will get fitted to the yes. It isn't underneath, but I'm going to cut one of these down to fit. You can go and buy that, but as I mentioned, I'm using what I've got to hand. Let's clean this up and now you can see it. Okay, so everything's been cleaned back to metal, especially when you're using your welder's protection and goggles. So I'll give it a little tack first just to see how it goes with the tack, and then we shall weld it up. So and now we've got that very well tacked on. The square you have to keep in it square can now come off, and I can finish the weld. Now this support, now that's welded, we're just to lift. Off. As you seen before, it was wobbling, no wobble. So we have to go underneath now. And do this one underneath. Now, as you can see, we're all welded up. Now, don't touch it, it's going to be hot. But, as you can see, now, welding that little bracket on, top and bottom, yes, we'll knock off the carbon, but as you can see, grabbing this, there's not a lot of play down it compared to which as you can see there, this is why we're putting that little support in, because I know we've took this out, but as you can see, that completely wobbles. Now we'll put the wood again under here. We will do the same on this part, just to do a support bracket, and we'll do them at the front. So then I know these are perfectly, I can't say square, but they're not going to wobble. So all the other patchwork that we've cut out can be done, and we can build this back up, and the back's nearly done then. So you've not seen me doing this part, but I'll show you when we are doing this, because you've seen that side being welded. See you in a minute, guys. Well, I just carried on. I've just gone all around that, got the bars in, so this now is solid. I just have to grind all these off, ready for the bed. But as you can see, this is the next bit that we are doing, which is we have to cut all this off. But I need that L-shaped bracket, because that is what will rest on them once they are done, and then we'll tidy them up so that will fit in. So I will do another little time lapse for you guys now. I'll find somewhere to put it. So there you go, all welded completely up. I'm not bothering welding anything along there, because I've got it along here, down the back and around, same on that side. So that is the back end of the trailer complete, and as you can see, completely solid as again. I know these are little add-ons which I've added, which are the support brackets, but you know, in all, I think it's done a phenomenal job. It's exactly what it needed, considering this was the back end, which is completely gone, which has now got a solid. You could weld along that line all the way along, but there's no need for what it's doing. That's perfect. And I've left these open. I'll give them all a clean up. So the problem I noticed, there's a lot of water in the rails, so this will help it drain, and there is a drain underneath. Right, for me to paddle, for me to get all this flat, get it cleaned up, and then I'll just give it a quick little spray. So there's no need to see that. So I will see in the morning when we do the other little parts, which will be that there, and fixing that, and then we can get onto the front. But the front member, I don't think we're going to go as much as we did with that. Yes, it's bad, but in all, there's no point for the front part. To be fair, I can bracket, do the same what we've done at the bottom, where we'll bracket along 2 brackets along here, and the same on that side, which will be there, and then that takes this structural. We can cut this, get it all out, but then the structural part will be there. So that's it then. Then it's just a good foot a wire brush all over, make the mud guard for this side, and then board it, get the boards, get it all put back together, and then it can go back to my mate. Yeah, decent day, you know. I will see you on part 2. And remember, on trailers like these, you have to work on them every day. Cheers guys, see you in a bit.